We'd like to welcome everybody to an extremely special Picks from Joe's. If you haven't been on Twitter, if you don't live on Twitter, we have a very, very special guest who we would like to say that we are breaking the news. We're breaking. He's coming out on Picks from Joe's. Wait, that didn't sound right. He's unveiling. This is an unveiling on Picks from Joe's. Oklahoma, Mike has a face. People.
I do. Only a mother could love it sometimes, but that's okay.
joining myself, Wetzel, and King as usual. Who I think King is at home this week. I've got one night here in Nashville on the way home in the morning. So let's without further ado, Oklahoma. Thank you, Mike, for coming on Picks from Joe's. This ought to be a good one.
Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this all week, to tell you the truth.
There we go. And the Nielsen monitors must be just going off the charts.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because nobody tunes in to watch King, and while they might tune in to listen to King, but then the Twitter activity around you coming on here and possibly showing your face was some kind of a big deal. I had seen.
I guess so.
So we'll pile in here. As I mentioned to you before we came on, Mike, that our routine is least interesting game, which usually involves Kansas, working to the most interesting game, which always involves Oklahoma State. And with no surprise this week, the least interesting game is OU at Kansas. And I just want to say this: what rocket scientist in Vegas came up with a 62.5 point over/under for this game?
Like
anybody?
In the first half, or?
Yeah, OU's going to score. I mean, would you be probably going to put up 60?
Right. I guess my feelings on Kansas have kind of moved past laughing at them, to tell you the truth. They're that sad. I didn't think we'd cover last week, and we ended up covering, even with our offense. I don't see any way Kansas. I don't see any way that game stays under the 62.5 point mark. I mean, it's going to be experimental time for OU by the second half.
Now, if we're not careful, it's at any moment now, King may come up with a new piece of artwork representing.
I don't have a pin on me.
Kansas football. Sorry to put you on the spot, King, but I actually went back and watched that earlier this week just by accident. I was still.
Did you rewatch last week's game, or?
No, I rewatched. For some reason, I was clicking through stuff, and I rewatched our Picks from Joe's.
Oh, okay.
We had the West Virginia guy on, and King drew a picture of a jack next to the word "sucks." Said something about that's what you'd see if you went to Webster's dictionary. That's what you'd see.
Pretty much.
So,
they're not good.
And I can't believe I did this. My drink of the evening is a traditional old Budweiser. It's what they had in the cooler down in the lobby. Oklahoma, what's your beverage of choice? Coors Light. King, you tweeted out a picture of the Jack Daniels bottle earlier. What's that? Is that?
It's right about here. So.
How long have you had those plastic cups?
Oh, this one's been around the block a few times. The Hideaway logo has seen far better days.
Wow, that's been in the dishwasher once or twice. I used to have a whole bunch of them. I used to collect all those damn things back in the 1970s. Going to Lewis Stadium, I used to pick all those things up. I thought I was the greatest thing, man. I'd walk out of there with 5 orange cups every home game. Ridiculous. Had them forever. I think I even had them when I got married to my first wife 25 years ago. I think I still had some. All right, so screw that. Kansas sucks. OU's going to run off with that game, and nobody cares. You've got next least interesting game, and for a not interesting game, this is maybe somewhat intriguing. Texas at Iowa State. The line, Texas laying 6.5. Over under maybe a hair low for this game, 51.5. But I'm more intrigued by a Halloween night game in Ames. I'm glad it's not us.
Yeah, I'm always glad it's not us when it comes to Ames. Tell you the truth, I've still never seen that 2011 game. I went to Denver that day.
What?
I've never seen a play from it.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah, I guess I've always been fortunate.
King still hates Iowa State.
Beating us is fine. All right, that's it. Program-defining win, have it. The fact that, and they even wrote a damn article about it at the our sister network about how actually winning that game ruined their program. The fact that you suck so bad that taking victory has crushed your program. The victory that I needed in my poke life. Like, just go to hell. Die and go to hell. And now you've taken Mark Mangino out of the Big 12. That's it. I got no fat guys left in the Big 12. Charlie Weiss is gone. Mark Mangino's gone. Now, the one nice thing for Iowa State is on their next away game, they can get like a regular Learjet instead of like the C-130 cargo plane. They can make it now.
Wow. That's special. King with lots of love for Iowa State. I don't know. What's that, Mike?
Sorry, Texas wins, right? I mean, they get better every week.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just have this strange feeling that Texas, was all excited after beating OU. They had a week off. They're going to I don't know. There's just something funny. I'm feeling like something funny's happening here.
Okay. That's fair.
Something odd. It just doesn't feel. I don't feel like Texas has the type of offense. I mean, somewhat like us if we're playing like a TCU or Baylor or somebody like that. They don't have the type of offense that should run off, like blow Iowa State off the field. Not like Texas Tech did.
Right.
It's just one of those things where, Iowa State hang around. It's Ames. It's a night game, and I'll tell you what. There are two things that West Virginia cannot do tonight. One of them is catch a football, and the other is tackle Boykin.
Right.
My God. That's just awful. I don't know, King. What do you? Well, you probably say you hope Texas blows them out.
We still talking about Iowa State or TCU?
Iowa State, Texas.
I don't know. Going to Ames, because the thing that can get you, particularly if you're Texas, is when you go from relatively hot to the cold. Like I have no idea how that affects the players, but when I went up there in, I can't remember what year it was, like 7 or 8. It was frosty in early November. And we just looked like crap the whole time. We won, but I don't know. I don't think the Iowa State offense can put up more than about 15 to 20 points. I think Texas can put up about 25 or 30, so.
Yeah,
barring something fluky and Texas just not traveling well, Iowa State should roll. Texas should roll.
Yeah, no, I'm. All things considered, yeah, Texas ought to win the game, but it could be, it's just one of those deals. I feel like unless Iowa State hands it to them, the game will stay close enough. Iowa State, I think, might surprise us. I'm not sure. As we get ready to go to games that are actually of some interest, well, one of them would have been of interest had we talked about it before they played it. We've got a couple teams on byes this week, Baylor and Kansas State. How about Baylor losing their starting QB? Is that? I mean, I think they don't miss a beat, but there's a lot of folks that all of a sudden are like, oh no. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that is played in every game this year. I don't think it's going to be a big drop off.
Yeah.
The biggest danger I see
I'm
for them.
feeling like they don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
I think they've got.
I know you love Baylor's offense, so and you like going to Waco. So Baylor miss a beat or no?
I think they've got bigger problems with like some just some nagging like defensive injuries. But he is a true freshman. There's always a chance he may try to just, for whatever reason, take over a game or one up Russell, and then they might have trouble. Did we lose him? Am I lost?
Hey, no. Hey, sorry about that. I'm still here.
We haven't lost him. He's gone. He's gone behind the curtain, though, folks. We're hearing pounding on the keyboard. There he is. Oh, movement. Oh, watch out.
Sorry about that. I had to go get another beer.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. So we really don't give a crap about Baylor and Stidham. Hope Russell's all right, but who cares? You got what is the game? Their first game coming back is like at Kansas State, so they'll be all right by the time OU comes. OU going to Waco, that could be an interesting game that week. Because I mean we're starting. Was it November 7th? OSU has TCU, and I think the 14th. OU goes to Baylor, and then Baylor comes to Stillwater, and then you got a hell of a Thanksgiving weekend, Friday, Saturday, if OU and OSU stay in the mix. What do you guys think going into November? Do you think that Thanksgiving weekend? What are the odds that Thanksgiving weekend, King, is going to be worth the whole enchilada in the Big 12?
I think you'll have one Oklahoma school left in it. I don't know which one yet. And I think you'll have one Texas school left in it. I just don't see a way that either TCU and Baylor both make it to that weekend undefeated, or us and the Sooners make it all that way. I think, truthfully, the game that I think Baylor has the biggest chance of losing outside of playing us is probably OU. I think they'll get fired up for TCU enough to put up a fight. But the last time OU went to Waco, it didn't end so well. But they lose like 57-20 or something like that.
Oh yeah, they got run out of the joint.
Yeah. Something like.
I mean, what do you think, Mike? What are the odds? What are the odds we get to that last weekend where both games mean something for the Big 12 title?
I don't know. I feel like slim to none, just because that would be the best thing for the Big 12, and because it's this conference, it just won't happen. I mean, I hate to say it, but we're going to lose along the way between now and then. That OU team I watched in the Cotton Bowl 2 weeks ago, they're going to lose again as well. I don't know if that weekend pays off the way everybody wants it to.
For it to happen, you're going to end up having 4 one-loss teams. Would be the only way it could happen.
Right.
Right.
You'd have to have us lose to TCU and then win out. Baylor.
We could lose to Tech and win out.
Yeah.
TCU win it. Yeah. So you'd have 4 one-loss teams, which would kind of take the luster off of it.
Because again, I don't think a Big 12 team is getting in without going undefeated into the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I tell you what, I watched the deal they had at I think it was halftime of the TCU West Virginia game where they were talking a little bit about the picking. That group of who the hell was it? Fox people or whatever were yapping about going through the process kind of like a committee would.
Uh-huh.
And I tell you what, TCU and Baylor, were getting hammered in the discussion for their quality of their schedule, quality of their wins, and I'll tell you, if there's a team, I'll say this. I think I said it yesterday. I was on a Mark Rogers thing last night, and we had some technical issues. But during our conversation, I said if there's a team poised to get into the playoff with one loss, it's OU.
Yeah, they still have the name reputation. Obviously, I feel like the assumption is OU automatically gets the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
where and Baylor still won't.
Well, yeah, and I think they're in a good position because they're moving up. They're working their way up the polls. They get a win. If they got a win in Waco, that would be big. I think Baylor TCU, if they lose in November, either one of them, I think that's it. They're done. They need help. They need other teams in front of them to look bad, lose bad or something. But I agree. It's going to be. I think the only Big 12 team that could get in with one loss is OU because they've already got it and they could win out.
Right.
I agree. I think if anybody loses in November, they're done. There's none of that.
Big 12 really needs Stanford and Utah to lose again. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
You get Stanford and Utah to go ahead and drop one more each. That pretty well eliminates the Pac-12. Need something to happen to Michigan State and Ohio State because Clemson should win out, but there's a reason Clemsoning is a thing. So.
Yeah, you need something to happen to Bama. Bama and LSU need to.
How I got a question for both of you. How long is it going to take for the playoffs to be 8 teams with all 5 Power 5 teams guaranteed a spot?
Oh wow.
Which sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure when the TV contract's up, but it'll be after that. What, a decade? I mean,
That would be.
I'd say a decade.
Well.
Oh, God. That'd be ideal. Absolutely ideal. 18-5 champion in. You give 3 teams and say this. That if you want to be in the playoff, you got to win a conference.
Right.
So your Power 5, let the committee pick, a MAC, a WAC, one of those teams. Let them pick conference champions. Because I don't want any of this crap that, you have a championship, Bama loses a championship game, and then they get in the damn. I just have a thing. I feel like if they did this right, maybe even through realignment, you could actually have 8 conferences feeding the playoff. And I mean that'd be perfect. Then you're almost your conference. You could have divisions in your conferences that are almost like their own conference for the conference, which feeds then into the playoff. So in essence, you could have a 16, what amounts to a 16-team playoff where nothing but conference champions are getting in, and now your discussion is done. There's no committee.
Right.
Win your conference, you're in. I mean,
it's like NCAA basketball. If you can win the tournament, you're in.
Yeah,
that'd be better. So what else is on? Because this West Virginia TCU game is garbage.
I was getting down on
how much younger Holgerson's got. He's got to be on his way out.
I tell you, it's interesting. I saw somebody tweet out, West Virginia's getting hammered for being 0-4, but the 4 teams they've lost to are a combined 27-1.
Yeah. It's a fair stat. I don't think the fans will see it that way. Would we see it that way? I mean, the Big 12's pretty good, and Travis Ford loses all the time to it. So.
Well, I mean, you're talking to some seasoned Oklahoma State fans here. I can moral victory anything.
That's a good point.
I can get pumped about a 3-putt.
Bring that up. had to bring that up.
You mentioned Clemsoning earlier, and I'm so glad that Clemsoning is a thing and not, the poke choke or something like that, because we very easily could have been nationally known.
You got what was the other game? The other game was North Carolina Pitt. That was I was watching that. That was I think the Patriots are.
We lost Robert.
I think he froze.
Pass.
He made a
Is he
sweet
back?
on the way out. Wait, there he
Yeah. And then he died. He's dead. It's too bad.
Wow. That was pulling one out of Dana Holgerson's book right there. TCU's up 27 and they run a reverse halfback pass. And then they don't call time.
Yeah.
That's not.
Wouldn't it be great if Meacham was running?
Anyway, all right. On to our. So, obviously, West Virginia TCU would have been an interesting game had we talked about it beforehand.
Right.
But TCU's definitely going to cover, and they're not going to hit the over/under was 75. They're not going to touch that.
Okay.
Unless something crazy happens. So, on to the matter at hand. Cowboys in Lubbock. Thank God it's not a night game. Halloween in Lubbock, an afternoon game. Cowboys laying 3, which for me is technically a kind of a toss game. Over under 79. I don't know, guys. It's
Uh-oh. He's drinking beer.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Can't hear me?
No, we can hear you fine, and we can't see you.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Well, so they stop looking at me where they can't see me. Talk about what are you feeling for this game? How are you feeling going into this game?
There was a time when I first started watching OSU football that
can't hear me?
I can hear you. We got no video. Are you in a Holiday Inn?
Here we go. Hang on. We're gonna. All right. Let me see if you can read this.
Nope.
Well,
not me.
Maybe. How do you feel about this game? I win.
Oh, all right. I'm a little alarmed in that I'm not concerned at all. I really think we're easily going to cover that 3-point spread. I don't know. I saw a stat that we haven't beaten anyone. We haven't beaten an FBS team with a current winning record yet. So I'm not sure how good we really are, because it seems like we've beaten the bottom half of the conference. The way the schedule is so backloaded. We really haven't played anybody yet. Tech will be a good test, but their defense is so bad that I don't see how we don't cover. I mean, maybe that's just me, but their defense is terrible.
Their defense is terrible, and Pat Mahomes has the arm equivalent of Linguini. Like he can't try to run. If he rolls out either side, he's got Ogba or Bean ready to just crush him. They have some pretty good receivers. They've got weapons or tech, but for this team, and I think it's the same way with Texas now, there was a time when I first was a fan that like going to Tech, that sucked. That's a loss. Just accept it and move on. Going to Texas, that's a loss. Accept it and move on. We don't lose in Lubbock. We don't lose in Austin. Like, it's not a deal to go to these places and play for this team anymore. My biggest concern, truthfully, is forcing the running game and the Mason Rudolph, I'm going to throw this ball about 15 inches behind you on this little slant route that everybody's jumped. So, as long as we don't give them points,
Right.
They don't scare me. If we give them points, then it gets interesting all of a sudden.
If Rudolph sails a couple, we might be in trouble. But if we hold on to the ball, I'm not worried.
Also, I believe the drinking game for this weekend is every time we run the ball up the middle on first down, you drink. So, there's not an Oklahoma State fan that will survive that.
I'm not playing.
Yeah, not playing. Not playing.
You're back, Robert.
I'm back. Yeah.
You've got the resolution
I'm not playing that
of the original
game.
Game Boy, but you're back.
Yeah, that I'm not going there. It's just too old school Oklahoma State for me. Mike, we haven't beat a FBS team with a winning record yet.
Right.
If our offense, Kansas was really the first game where I felt like the offense looked like it ought to be blowing somebody out. And, of course, we were playing Kansas.
In Kansas.
And so, we've had a couple of rough outings on the road. Rudolph has not been his best in his first two conference road games. So, that's what concerns me. It concerns me that they're too conservative. They're trying to force the running game. What throwing Rudolph does, you get a couple of picks, maybe a pick six type of thing, or they gives them the ball, down deep with a short field. I tell you, the saving grace in all this would be the defense. I think the defense will be able to deal with Tech's offense.
Yeah.
Mahomes is a little banged up, and it wouldn't take but a couple of maulings in the backfield there for him to get happy feet, and that's the only thing the deal that really bothers me is we just, even if we're playing decent, I feel like we don't blow them out, and so it's one of those things where you get down into the fourth quarter and you're kind of one little goofy possession from being in a little bit of trouble. So
the way we've played all year.
Yeah, that's been the entire friggin' season. So the line, yeah, I don't give a crap about the line because +3 just means win the football game. 79 over under, and it's. I think. What's that, Mike?
I was gonna say I would put money on the under 79.5. I don't think Mike Gundy has any interest in getting into a shootout with Texas Tech. We can't.
I tell you what, if it's under, we're gonna be in for a very stressful fourth quarter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If it's under. I mean, that'll be, God. So you guys are feeling somewhat confident or fairly confident we're going to see TCU and Stillwater, both teams undefeated. Does game day show up if they do?
Probably. It'd be about number 4 versus about number 8.
Yeah, I mean,
on that week.
What else is on that week?
Here, I'll pull it up. I was doing some minor research while y'all were talking, and I looked up OU, Baylor, and TCU, and I didn't get a chance to finish, but as far as I can tell, The only team with a winning record that any of those teams has beaten is Lamar for Baylor, and I didn't get to check. If Lamar has a winning record, Lamar is the one team with a winning record that Baylor, OU, OSU, or TCU have beaten. So nobody's beaten anybody.
Anything, man. I mean, nobody's beating anybody any good.
No, but I got a question. Hang on here. Let's just check this out. I think we could. Come on, internet. Work. Oh, that's not what we wanted.
All right, so November 7th, Notre Dame at Pitt, but is Pitt still losing right now? I haven't checked in a minute.
They lost.
Okay, so they might still get it because Notre Dame's got the name. Oh, no. Florida State at Clemson.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're not going to get it.
It'll be at Clemson.
Especially, I feel like they're going to Bedlam possibility open, too.
Oh, so, all right. So we're pretty settled here. OU's going to blast Kansas. Texas should beat Iowa State, but I'm hedging for a weird night on Halloween in Ames. TCU's obviously running all over West Virginia right now. It's 40-10, and 40-10 or 40-17, 40-10, I think. And you guys are feeling a bit more confident than I am about the trip to Lubbock, but we're all thinking OSU could squeak this one out, come home with a win, and stay undefeated going into TCU the following week. So before we sign off, all right, Baylor's not playing this week, so I really don't have a good kind of clean shot at saying fuck Baylor this week legitimately. And it's all because of this nonsense over Texas Tech, a little grassroots movement coming from Texas Tech that was encouraging fans not to use the phrase wreck 'em, which is something they've used for however long they've used it, to refer to their opponents. And it was initially discussed about just don't use it on social media. Some other folks expanded it to, not using it while they were at the game, but just it was a request. It was all it was. And the backlash from not just some Texas Tech fans, but from some OSU people on Twitter. All right, it's ridiculous doing. Texas Tech folks, this has been our tradition for 80 years. What are they? What do you mean we can't say it? Nobody said you can't say it. All right, and nobody claimed to do this because it was going to be offensive. All right, none of us are going to think it was offensive. OSU people weren't going to think it's offensive. That wasn't the point. It wasn't the point of trying to be sensitive. All right, the point was you had folks at Tech simply trying to make a gesture. Good, right, wrong, or indifferent. They were trying to make a gesture. And if you don't agree with it, okay, everybody's got their opinion. You don't want to participate or you want to, not agree with it, that's cool. There's times to open your mouth and there's times not to. And in a moment where someone was genuinely trying to pass along a gesture of respect to a school that they're about to play, they're about to face, because something tragic happened at that school, that's honorable and should not be dissed. Nobody should be yelling at them saying they're doing something stupid. You know what? For one day, people, they ask you to do something for one day when you've got people out there that don't get next week. All right? There are lives they don't get next week. There are folks whose lives will not be the same next week. And somebody asks you to do something for a day just out of respect, not because it's offensive, not because they're being politically correct. And I'm just saying that because I thought the reaction was just ridiculous and uncalled for, and I thought shallow in a lot of ways for a lot of people. I was really kind of shocked that reaction. But that's all I'll say about that, and I'll probably get my ass kicked on Twitter for it. So,
You gotta remember, Robert, there's some good Tech fans. There are some good Texas Tech fans, as much as I give them shit. But your average Twitter user, from what I've seen, I've been on Twitter for like 4 weeks now. Your average Twitter user. What was that?
Get off Twitter. Don't do it.
They have the average Twitter user that I've seen has the intelligence of a milk cow, just not the use.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate.
That could be the statement of the evening right there from King, with his early 4-week assessment. He's gotten right to the bottom of Twitter right there in 4 weeks.
Have you seen Boycott Star Wars? That's all you need to know about Twitter.
Boycott Star Wars?
Apparently it promotes genocide.
Why?
What was that?
Said I'm gonna regret this, but go ahead. Why should I boycott Star Wars?
Apparently, since in a galaxy far, far away, they were able to find the second black man behind Lando Calrissian. The film is going to promote white genocide, so white folks shouldn't watch it. And that's when I just got sad. There is no hope for humanity left.
Oh God.
Yeah. People are upset because there are 2 black men in a galaxy far, far away. I'm more upset about Jar Jar Binks still.
Oh my God! The new Star Wars is promoting. I may have to actually look that up now.
Yeah.
You'll
look on Twitter.
If and by the way, folks, if you haven't done so, you need to go to Wide Right Natty Light and find their post talking about their in-state rival Iowa's undefeated season. Take a read of the post. It's a pretty good post. As the Wide Right goes, they've always got some kind of snarky, good, sarcastic stuff. But as always, the comment section is some free entertainment. So you should definitely go check that out. So anyway, well, guys, thank you much, folks. Anybody that joined us, that was great. Oklahoma,
Yes,
thanks
sir.
for coming on. We'd love to have you. What's that?
I said this was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'll have you on when there's better games. When we actually got we can bash on somebody. This is a pretty dry week, and so anyway, thanks again for coming on, King. As always, buddy, good to see you. And we'll go Pokes in Lubbock, and hopefully we'll be talking about 2 undefeated teams coming to Stillwater next week. Everybody, travel safe if you're heading to Lubbock. Good luck to everybody, and we'll talk to you next week. Go Pokes.
All right.